Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Robin, this is Digital Wilds, and welcome to Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. In this episode, we're going to be pushing on through the boggly tree, learning a little bit about how this environment works, and exploring some new mechanics that the game is going to throw at us. So first off, head off this pipe, and we'll be introduced to one of the mechanics which operates inside the boggly tree. This is a weight panel. It is only affected by the weight of punies, hence why our little follower Punio only takes it down from 10 to 9, so there's nothing we can do with that yet, but bear that in mind because it will come in useful later on. Next up, we have more encounters with the X-Nauts. This is a good opportunity to gain some XP and encounter some new enemies. So first things first, we'll tackle this Yux. This is a floating alien creature that belongs to the X-Nauts. It can generate little shields for itself, which is a bit annoying, because it means this guy usually takes a couple of turns to take out. But for now, I think I'm just going to use my normal jumps to take out this X-Naut, and we'll see what that guy can do. And there we are. So we'll see it creates a mini Yux, which we can also tattle. And then once that's destroyed, we'll be able to hurt the Yux proper. Until then, he is invincible. Now, unfortunately, tuttling that guy does mean that we're going to have to wait another turn to take him down. So I'll just skip forward to when we've done that, and we're back in the field. Okay, so down he goes. And that gives us a chance to continue pushing onwards through the tree. As with most other locations, you'll want to check these bushes in case there are hidden things inside them. Not on this occasion, but you never know. And on this other upper mezzanine level, we have another Yux who is happily shooting projectiles at us. So a nice easy battle there, gets us 9 XP, plus a Fire Flower, which might be kind of useful to have on hand. I think I will throw out my Slow Shroom for that. They do not tend to come in hugely useful. And apart from that, that upper mezzanine level is relatively empty. Something mysterious is happening here. Man, this is brutal. How much longer till we find that stupid crystal star? Not even those puny punies we captured know anything about it, and they live here. After all this pointless searching, I'm thinking we're looking in the wrong place. A mysterious figure has appeared. And yes, it looks like there's some kind of badge chicanery going on. Here we are, and in this red cage here, we have ourselves the Puny Elder. Punio, is that you? You're looking well. Why are you so calm, Elder? You're trapped. This is our daring rescue of you. Oh, we're rescuing, is it? Well, thanks, I suppose. Those are quite exciting. But I think you ought to help the other punies before you rescue me. I should point out at this juncture that the punies are small enough they could very easily just fit through those bars. And yes, it's not just the red cage. There is a blue cage containing 100 of your finest little punies, including Petuni, who is Punio's little sister. So clearly a drama has been established here. We're going to have to rescue those lot, and they will be key to getting our progress through the tree. So first objective, find the cell key. Firstly, just going to quickly explore these bushes. Nothing there. And we can obviously turn sideways and sneak through the bars, but that is not very useful for now. So instead, yes, here we go. And back comes Mrs. Mouse. Oh, well, isn't this a treat? We must stop meeting like this, don't you think? Hey, stop right there, Missy. You're that thieving girl we saw before. What are you doing here? Well, I heard there were nice badges to be found here, so I came looking. Only problem is, I've been running into more trouble than I expected. But who cares about that? Lovely to see you again. And there we go. So, yep, she tells us the crystal star is in the bottom of the tree. That is slightly useful information. And this X-Naut has been clobbered around the head. Unfortunately, he's not going to leave us be because he thinks that we're the one who gets him. Nice and easy to take down with a single head bonk from powered up Gimbella though. And there we are. And that gets us the red key. So now we've got access to the Puny Elder, which is somewhat useful. This is an Ultra Shroom. It restores 50 HP. That is massively overkill when nobody in our party has more than 20, but we can use replace one of our normal mushrooms with that and hopefully give ourselves a little bit of an advantage down the line. It can be used for some of the most powerful cooking recipes in the game, the Ultra Shroom, so it's worth hanging on to, even if it's not that useful immediately. So first things first, let's unlock the Puny Elder. We're back. We're here to rescue you. Foolish child. Sit down this instant and keep your mouth shut. What did I do? Listen, Elder, I don't know why you're mad, but we came to help you. Stop your mumbling, you, and mind your elders, you whelp. How could you abandon your poor sister and run off like that? Absolutely shameful. But Elder, I just went to find help, to help rescue you. Oh, stop with the whining. You never interrupt an Elder mid-lecture. Never. You wonder why the other Punies call you a doofus sometimes? That's why. And your time to be a doofus is over, because you have to lead our puny tribe one day. The day is not far off, and that is why you need to listen. Now, first of all, so a lecture ensues. Indeed, several hours later. Or else, you got that? From now on, you've got to get your act together, Punio. Yes, Elder. Yes, I understand. Well, anyway, the Puny Elder is a bit of a crank, but is now free. So hopefully that will allow us some sort of progress through the tree. I can't remember exactly how this chapter works, but it involves rescuing progressively larger numbers of Punies. So with that done, if we now head back down, we should hopefully be able to find the Elder back at the entrance to the tree. Easy enough to just jump off this ledge and dodge our way around the enemies. And yes, here we go. So we have our little gang together now. Now that we've got the Elder back. So now the Elder's on our side against Puniper. And hopefully that means we now get some buddies on our side. And it's the second mistaken identity of the game. The Puny Elder thinks we are Marty. And nobody, again, has heard of Mario. Okay, so the Elder is a little bit reluctant to tell us about the Crystal Star. But has been tasked with guarding it, so I think that's fair enough. And yeah, it's happy to tell us we're going to need all the Punies to get that task done. So indeed we have the Puny Orb, and if I remember correctly, this is used in a slight parody of the Pikmin games, where we have to command a little army of 100 creatures, and Olimar and Louis of Pikmin fame were famously anagrams of Mario and Luigi. So there is a quite sweet little Nintendo in-joke there. So first things first, take these guys upstairs, and if we can plant them all on this platform at once, put the Puny Orb down, and that will depress the switch, allowing us access to this pipe. Now, we're going to have to take the Puny Orb out so we don't lose all the Punies, and they'll come with us down through here. I think this allows us to access the door on the other side, with the X-Nauts that we thought originally have hidden. So healthy 6 HP for taking out that guy. Sadly, the Punies do not help in combat. They are solely for puzzle solving, but now that we've beat that button, we can head through here, and that will allow us a way back to the entrance to the tree. And there's no real purpose to that, it just involves a little bit of time saving, so you don't have to go through another transition zone. So, we're introduced to one of the more annoying mechanics in this now, because it doesn't work properly. This is where you pin the Punies in place using the orb, get out Flurry, and you blow them into this soapy water. And as they float up, you blow them across the gap to the other side. And now that we've got them back on side, we can head down this pipe, and they will duly follow. I think there are some things on the lower area of that level, so we must go there at some point. But for now, we can just start exploring further down in the tree. Now, one thing to know about Punies is they are scared of spiders. And those are going to start showing up relatively soon. Yeah, there we go. So we've got to get rid of those if we're going to get the Punies across the narrow ledge without losing them. So first things first, of course, with the new enemy, we swap over to Goombella, who will instruct her encyclopedia, and who will consult her encyclopedia and tell us who we're dealing with. And these are the Piders, and indeed, they are slightly gross because they're just web-shooting discs. They are extremely easy to guard against, as I recall, so they shouldn't be too difficult to battle, even if they have a relatively high HP stat. Okay, so after sweeping away those spiders with the broom of Mario's Fury, we are up to 40 star points, well on our way to the next level. And the Punies, duly redeemed from being scared off, have largely come back to us. I think one of them seems to have fallen down the gap, so we'll have to go down there and retrieve him, because obviously we need as many as we can get. This item, I believe, can be removed just by blowing it with Flurry. It's not actually solid, so that's a nice little bonus. And if we paper plane our way down here, and paper plane our way down here, we can land on top of this block and get ourselves a shine sprite, which I think is the first one of the boggly tree. I'm not sure how many it takes us to now, hopefully around the 3 mark, because that means we can upgrade another partner once we get back to Rogueport. Oh, yeah, indeed, we do have 3, so we can do that when we are next there. For now, got to go retrieve our remaining Puny, who will have fallen down to the lower level, and this gives us an opportunity to bash some more piranha plants to death. And there we go, so we found this little guy cowering from this wicked piranha plant on the ground floor, and I'm going to teach him a lesson as a result. So we've hit a relatively rare bingo there. I think we've only had a couple of these in the mission so far, and that was a heart one. So as well as topping up our health, which is very nice, importantly, the audience fills up to full, which allows us to rapidly refill our star points should we wish to use them, and that will be something we come up with relatively soon, because it's a good way of dealing with this level's boss. Okay, so with all the relevant Punies in tow, we can continue pushing down through the tree. And what have we here? It is looks like a Puny, but it's got wings and it's angry. That's a Jabby, and they are the rivals within this tree who are assisting the X-Nauts with their conquest. We'll start with the first of what are going to be some quite violent gang clashes, as I recall. Yes, indeed. So there's 10 of them, and there's 10 of us, and we better get started on bringing them down. So we can hammer them. I think we can also flurry them. Those are the methods by which we deal with the Jabbies. And once they're all done, and our guys are not all dead, we should be able to, yeah, destroy that hive. There we go. That's the final one down. And they'll go in and blow up those people's home for no apparent reason in a brutal excoriation of ethnic cleansing. And that will allow us access at least to the next room. So that is the brutal methods by which Mario must make progress. And through this room, we've got access to this panel on the floor, a box containing a blue key, which we can use to unlock the remaining Puny cage, and some sort of mural here, which says Puny, Star, Moon, Sun. We're going to want to remember that, and remember that this is here. Well, also, this is one of the very few bits of the game where you can actually sequence break, or at least you can get through the game quicker if you've been paying attention so far, because there is an... Basically, we're going to need to come up with an arrangement of those shapes later, and if you've been paying attention in Frankly's office, you will have seen the solution presented to you already. So, some doommonger in the Puny camp is has been asking whatever her name is, what she's been holding on to. And, yep, she's got a dry shroom, which she's going to use to give to Punio as a sort of food to fortify him for the battles ahead. And it's a nice gesture, even if dry shrooms are fairly useless. They can be cooked, I think, and they turn into something relatively useful if they're cooked in the right combinations. I think if you just cook one on its own, it comes out as a mistake, which I think even then is worth 1 HP and 1 FP, so it's still better than just eating a raw dry shroom. Anywho, back up to the top of the tree, and we'll try and rescue the rest of our puny brethren. So a good opportunity here to go and explore the lower levels of this room with the washing up liquid pool, and among other things we find ourselves a Thunder Rage, which drops lightning on all enemies. I think does 5 damage. A very, very nice item to have. So add that to our inventory, and we'll also get the 4th of our Shine Sprites. So hopefully if we can get to 6, which I think we're able to do within the tree, if I remember where the other 2 are, then when we get it back to Rogueport, we'll be able to upgrade both our other partners, which will be a nice bonus. So I'm going to leave those puny guys there because I don't really need them for now. And if we head back up to the top of the tree, and we can unlock ourselves the blue cage and rescue the remaining 89 punies. So, here we are. Punio and his sister are reunited in a rather heartwarming scene. We know this because we're playing the heartwarming music from this game. Pudity, or whatever her name is, Petuni, is about to hand over the blessed dried shroom. And we get to see Punio enjoy this, I'm sure. And indeed, we have been, all of us, I'm sure, in the situation where we have to pretend something that tastes hideous is actually delicious in order to impress family, friends, or loved ones. Well, here we are. So we now have 91 punies on our team. And we've left 10 downstairs, of course, but we're going to go reunite them right now. Now, if we add the puny stone here, we get the chance to see what happens when you've got so many items on screen. Basically, this game sort of struggles to keep track of them all, and doing these pits can be a little bit of a pain. You see, you won't hit the bubbles correctly, they'll fall back into the water, you'll have to do it all again. It can take a couple of minutes sometimes, and it's deeply frustrating. So you want to minimise the amount of times you have to do this, frankly. Nope, missed him again. The problem is that because all the characters are 2D planes, it's quite difficult to tell what vertical level they're on. There we go, finally we get him. Now we can hop over the gap, and, well, it should be that all 101 punies are reunited, but I'm not entirely sure where the others have gone. I'm just going to use the puny orb to hold them in place here and see if they're anywhere missing. Okay, now clearly I've lost a few here, so I'm going to have to go back to the puny elder and get her to yell so that they are all retrieved. This is why this chapter is one of my least favourite parts of this game, frankly. Okay, here we are. All 101 are with us. So we'll go to that room again, and once we are on the other side, I'll cut to them. Right, this time it looks like we got all 101 over without incident. So once the final bubbles have popped, we'll retrieve the puny orb and head down at this pipe with them. Now, sadly, in the next couple of rooms, you almost certainly will lose some punies to the floor because there are piders, and obviously we know that punies hate piders. But I'll do my best to keep hold of as many as I can. Right, here we go, and along this narrow walkway, unfortunately, piders are going to make their appearance. So, we're just going to have to, we can get coops out, and it makes it slightly easier to get a first strike on them. Okay, obstacle 1 out of the way. I think these guys don't respawn, or respawn very seldom, so if you can get rid of them, it's a good idea to do so, because it makes getting through this room a couple of times in the future much easier. Okay, so that's that one cleared out. If we head over here, and you might think we can't hit this block, but if we coops our way to that invisible block, we can hop over there and grab ourselves the Damage Dodge P badge, which is a nice way of reducing the incoming damage on your characters. So if we head through this door, I suspect we'd get ambushed by, I think there are more jabbies lurking in here, so we're going to head back, and I'll try and rescue these guys on the ground. We're going to, at some point, want to get through this door, but we can't quite yet because it's locked. And there's a hidden room down here with a bit of ragged sticker hanging off it, which is how we can tell we can get rid of it with Flurry. And what's through here? Ah, it's a hidden item shop with a couple of interesting characters. So first, obviously, this guy's the shopkeeper, and this guy is, well, I mean, in the Pit of 100 Trials, he's referred to as a mover, but I don't know whether that's his official name. He looks like he's some sort of puny, so he clearly has something in common with these guys. The puny is called... The puny who runs the shop is called Pungent, according to Goombella, and this guy is Pungry. So he's, yeah, managed to hold up in here and avoid the X-Nauts, which is quite clever. But the important bit of this is that if we head over to this corner here, see we've got a little Jabby. It's Jabble, who is the friend of Puny, obviously. And he has wanted to stay out of the conflict so far. If we are nice and we offer to leave him be, he can join us, and we get 102 characters instead of 101. And that's, yeah, proof that Mario can win over the hearts and minds of anyone. And doesn't really do as much good in combat, but it's quite a sweet little addition when you are running around. Oh, there's a star piece in that bush if you rustle it. So, rescue the rest of these guys. And we should have them all together now, especially once I can get over to the edge of this platform and grab the guys I left by the door. There we go, 101 out of 101. No more Pidus for us. And through this door, we'll find ourselves with the second of the Jabby fights. This one is obviously much larger in scale. So I'm going to switch over to Flurry, because she makes most sense to use in these encounters. As we see in this rather elongated animation, 101 of them file out to do battle with our army of a similar size. And we have no choice, there's no combat, we just have to go. And you'll see that Flurry makes good work of these guys over here. So we can very quickly thin out their ranks, allowing our puny allies to go and deal with the rest of them. We have taken, obviously, hideously high casualties. We're down to only 30 of our guys left. Hopefully they can manage to mop up the remainder. 20 punies remain, and quite the squadron of Jabbies over there, to be fair. So this is the closest we get to the Battle of Helm's Deep in this game. Oh, our punies are recovering, so that's good. And looks like we're down to the last few of them now. Yeah, there we go. We've definitely got the upper hand, and looks like this guy's the last one. And there we go. So we've taken 80% casualties. This is like the first day at the Somme, but we have at least pushed through and managed to destroy their fortress. And there we go. With that, the Jabbies are no longer a threat to us, and we can push through to the room behind them. So there's a star piece hidden behind the bottom of this pipe over here. I'll just deal with that piranha plant, and we'll explore the rest of the room. Okay, so not much else in here other than this raised stump we can't access yet, but if we push on to the right, we'll see yet again another one of these mysterious floor crosses. I wonder what they could do. Okay, so it looks like we have nothing else for it but to try and put all these punies here. See if there's something we can do with them down the line. Oh. Okay. It seems we're trapped again. So we are now denied of our punies for a second time, and Lord Crump is behind it, of course. It's not the most obvious of puzzles, that gap you saw that was only a couple of seconds was actually about 10 minutes of me faffing around trying to figure out what to do. So, thanks Crump, you did really slow up our attempts to get the Crystal Star there, you bought yourself some time. Okay, so, the pipe to the right opened up when that cage came down, so that seems the obvious place to go. And indeed, we have ourselves an interesting array of columns here, which you might remember match the symbols on the blocks we found earlier. Plus there is a star piece behind that pipe. So let's remember, Sun, Moon, Puny, Star. Now of course you can also get that from Franklin's office, as I say, if you've been paying attention earlier in the game. So we'll now whack this block. And something has happened elsewhere in the world. And I think I know where. Be back soon, Punies. I'm not leaving without you. So if you head all the way over to the right, past the initial Jabby Fortress, you'll end up in the room with the adjustable columns. And you'll see now we've hit that black block, these white blocks are spawned, which allow us to rotate the columns into place. So sun, moon, puny, and star. And there we go. Now those peel away, and we are faced with an interesting hidden grotto. And within there, there's not very much to find, but there is this giant chest. And here we have our first upgrade for Mario of the game. These super boots, yes! So the most important thing day to day for us is that these increase our attack power when we jump by 1. So instead of doing 2 with a standard jump attack, we will do 4. But crucially for puzzle solving, and for unlocking a new move in combat, it allows us to do the butt stomp. So Toadette is pleased with our progress. She is the sort of antithesis to the curse boxes that we find that turn us into paper planes and so on. And that will now allow us a whole bunch of new puzzle-solving abilities. Not least, we can spin hidden plates in the ground which contain star pieces, although I'm not sure if there's any of those near here. What we can do, more importantly, is we can't now get out via that bridge, which is gone, but we can but stomp our way through here. And if we're very, very careful, like Goombella clearly isn't, we can hop over here and get ourselves a shine sprite, which I think makes 5. So, drop onto the floor here, and we'll see if we can make our way... So that's annoying, because that was a good badge to get as well. So I'll just quickly skip forward and we'll get that. So Coops that over to us, and that is the charge badge. That basically allows us to increase our attack power by 1 in exchange for using 1 FP the previous turn. You can use that as many times as you like, and you can really rack up some damage using it, particularly when you're using power bounce, which is how the speedrunners do this game. So that is a valuable badge to get. And now that we've unlocked that butt stomp attack, I think you may be able to see where we can use it. So first things first, you're going to want to butt stomp that plate through, and if we head down this pipe, which is not strictly where we're supposed to be going, but I thought I might as well show you now. We'll end up in this very low down area where we're going to need punies to progress, so I'll just head up and go and get them. And now that we can head through here, the punies are free. Or at least they will be once we encourage them a little bit. So after much wrangling with the physics, both of them down the hole, and we can duly follow. Now that we've got all of them back, easy enough to just take the pipe back up to the surface. Now of course we can do the same again, and help our newly rescued friends down this hole. Good opportunity here to show off against this Exort, the first battle using our new foot powers. As you'll see, we're now doing double the damage with our shoes. Which means we can do all sorts that we couldn't do before, like taking out Yuxes in 1 turn, and leaving Goombella to deal with that Exort. And that, of course, gets us the XP to get up to level 6, or level 7. And I think I'm going to plough these points into badge points, which should let us upgrade our capabilities somewhat. So a quick look at the badge menu and see what we've got. Charge is always worth equipping, as is damage dodge. Pretty lucky is a nice one as well. Sadly we can only afford a couple of those. I think I'm going to go for damage dodge and charge. That should cover most of our bases for immediate combat use. So we've managed to get a lucky roll here, which will do additional damage, which is absolutely meaningless because the enemy we're attacking only has 1 HP. So an example of how the positive bonuses can't always be good, and indeed, yeah, that was +3 to our attack power, so very, very powerful. If we'd been up against the boss or something, that would have been quite invaluable indeed. Content ourselves for now with a few star points and head down this pipe. Now we are on the very lowest level of the tree, and by heading down this pipe, we can start to drain the water and give ourselves a bit of a better shot at getting this thing completed. So, unfortunately, there's no hidden block here. There will be another way to get the shine sprite down the line, but it's not currently one we can use. Instead, if we go to the lowest level here, we'll see that we need 101 punies on this switch in order to activate its effect, but that is something we're going to have to get them across the water in order to enact. So how do we do that? Well, if we head up this pipe to the right, we'll see that we've got quite the switch here. It's a rather unusual one that we haven't seen before, and when we stand on it, unfortunately, removes the block that we need to hit with it. So, what do? Well, we equip Coops, stand on the button until it goes down, put Coops in position, and then when it rises up again, release him. And there we are, the water is drained. And those very conveniently placed lily pads allow the punies easy access to the rest of the level. Of course, more importantly for now, it allows us access to this shine sprite. So here we go, come on lads, over the water. Careful not to fall in, it is still the hurty kind of water. So pop that stone in place. And there we go, the switch is done. We are, the very basement level, equipped with a healing block and a save point, which tells me that this is not going to be the quietest time in the world, but we can do nothing but venture forth. And here we are, we have found Crump in his lair. Frustrated, unable to access the Crystal Star because he lacks the capacity to empathise with the punies such that they will help him out. Well, we're going to give him a bit of a boost by taking our lads over here. Plug in the stone, we know the drill, and down the counter goes. Yep, and from within the chalice emerges the Emerald Star. Unfortunately, yep, we're too slow, and Crump now has it. So, being a bit of a coward, he's just setting off the bomb and running. And indeed, we have 5 minutes in real time to escape this dungeon. Now this can be a bit of an ordeal because dealing with the puny physics is not always the easiest thing. I'm not convinced that we have to take them all with us, frankly, but I feel a little bad leaving them behind. Okay, so an unavoidable battle here. Should be relatively easy if we can stop that guy getting his dizzy dial off, because now Mario and Goombella can both do 4 damage in a single round. We can just whack this guy down nice and swiftly. You'll note the countdown doesn't stop during the battles, which is rather devious, I find. Okay, now we can unlock this door and make our way back up into the tree. Easy enough to do, up through this pipe. And up through this pipe, and we should make it there with plenty of time to spare. So, with the puny all plugged in, let's hope we can get these guys over the hump nice and quickly. I don't know whether that's going to be possible, but it's something we'll try. No, looks like this is going to be a bit of an ordeal, so I might just have to skip them, frankly, but... yeah, sorry lads, you're getting left behind. But that does allow us time to get through back to the entrance, where we can hopefully stop Crump in his tracks. The puny elder is doing a good job holding him off in the meantime, though. So while the timer ticks down, we've got to listen to this chewing out of Crump by the puny elder. And yeah, unfortunately, bad timing means that she's not in a position to really intervene. However, hopefully he will stop the timer now that we are about to go into our big villain fight for this chapter. And there we go. Well, we're not just fighting Crump on his own this time, like in the prologue, because as we discovered then he's pretty weak. Instead, he's going full Eggman, and he's going to throw himself into this giant papercraft mech. Yes, indeed, this is Magnus von Grapple, and it is quite the formidable thing, particularly if you're not used to it. So this has multiple constituent parts. It can do a few different attacks. It's got metal fists, and the main body is where Crump is located. So that's the thing we've got to take down. So our first protocol is going to be to get Goombella out and tattle the thing. And let's see what we've got here. 30 HP, attack 2, defense 1. So it's a mighty old thing, and its stomp is pretty powerful at 2. So the fists have an HP of 2 and attack of 4. So we want to take them out nice and swiftly once they do emerge. But for now, might as well make a start with a power smash. Okay, so the first instance of this attack, this is going to be quite a difficult one to dodge, as I recall. Yep, indeed. Only 2 damage, but, you know, we've only got 15 HP, so not something I can afford to get hit too much by. Given he's got 1 defense, I'm not convinced that Goombella is the best partner here. I might go over to Koops, and he can start chucking his shell around. Only 1 damage, but it all counts. So, we've got the star point, so we might as well Earth Trimmer our way down to taking away 1/6 of its health. The star point moves, you may be interested to learn, do not take defense into account. This does a flat amount of damage regardless of what the enemy's defense is, which is good, because there are some later in the game which have really, really, really high defense points, which are basically impossible to get through with standard attacks. Okay, there we go. So he's 1/3 down, and he hasn't even deployed his fists yet. So that is probably about to change. Fortunately, you may remember an item we picked up earlier in the level, the Thunder Rage. This does lightning attacks to all enemies, which means we can take out both fists and do a decent chunk of damage to Magnus, all without burning any FP. Burning FP is the name of the game, though, so another Power Smash should do a decent chunk of damage against him. We're now way past the halfway point, and multiple stylish attacks should allow us to recoup that star point loss relatively easily. Oh, an enemy in the audience has a can, so we're going to hammer him around the head. And there we go. You'll note that when you attack hecklers, it really doesn't remove 1 from your audience count, so it's quite a nice little touch they got there. Just going to swap out my partner for Goombella because she does not get knocked on her back the way that Koops does. And if we hold out for that gift, yep, we get ourselves a coin. So Magnus is now down to 10 HP and has had to rejuvenate his fists, so this should give us a chance to deal some extra damage while he's still working through his cycle. Quick opportunity to show off Goombella's multi-bonk here. It's basically just power bounce, but again, conveniently ignores defense if you can make it through the first attack, and that leaves him on only 5 HP to go. So now if we do a power bounce of our own, using up our remaining FP, we should be able to get this guy down. And there we go. Magnus von Grapple has been grappled to death. 30 XP for us, a nice little bonus there. Doesn't quite take us to a new level, but gets us well on the way. And there we are. We have finished Chapter 2. So, back to base, Crump. Try again next time. And we, in the meantime, will be grabbing hold of this crystal star, which none of those goons could think to grab as they passed. So the tree can return to normal, despite being full of piders, which will still continue to respawn. And the star is ours. So that gives us a new special move, Clock Out, which I'll demonstrate in combat at some point. And indeed, end of chapter. And so, after pummeling Lord Crump, Mario obtained the second crystal star. With the X-Nauts gone, peace once again prevailed throughout the Great Tree. The boggly woods echoed with the puny songs of joy. But this may not be the last our hero hears from the vile X-Nauts. They will surely continue to stand in Mario's way and try to put a stop to his efforts. Yep, indeed, so we're going to leave things there, and I will do the interstitial stuff next time, so look out for that next Saturday. If you want to help me grow the channel, you can always subscribe, and I am also on Patreon at patreon.com/digitalwild. So thank you for watching, and I will see you for the interstitial bits next time.